Hello everyone, we have reached the second part of the Arthurian Legend. If you haven't seen the previous video of this channel, I suggest you watch it to have a better background of Arthurian Legend in literature. So let's start the second part. There are several common themes in Arthurian literature. Number 1. Chivalry and honor. The code of chivalry is a central aspect of Arthurian literature, with knights expected to uphold ideals such as bravery, loyalty, and honor. Number 2. Quests and adventures. Many Arthurian stories involve knights embarking on quests or adventures, often in search of a holy relic or to prove their worth as a knight. Number 3. Love and romance. The love triangle between Arthur, Guinevere, and Lancelot is a recurring theme in Arthurian literature, often leading to tragic consequences. Number 4. Betrayal and treachery. The story of murderous betrayal of Arthur is a well-known example of treachery in Arthurian literature, but there are many other instances of characters betraying each other throughout the tales. Number 5. Magic and the supernatural. Arthurian literature often includes elements of magic and supernatural, such as the wizard Merlin and the Lady of the Lake. Number 6. Quest for the Holy Grail. The quest for the Holy Grail is a major theme in Arthurian literature, with knights seeking to find the cup that Jesus used as the Last Supper, often as means of achieving spiritual enlightenment. Now here are some recommended works of Arthurian literature that explore the themes I mentioned. Le Morte Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory. This is a classic compilation of Arthurian tales that explores themes of chivalry, honor, love, and betrayal. It is also a great source for the story of the Holy Grail. Number 2. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This Middle English poem is a great example of the quest and adventure story, as Gawain sets out to find the Green Knight and fulfill his challenge. Number 3. The Once and the Future King by T.S Eliot. This novel retells the story of King Arthur, emphasizing the theme of chivalry, love, and betrayal. It also includes a detailed exploration of the character of Merlin and the use of magic in the Arthurian world. Number 4. The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. This novel offers a feminist perspective on the Arthurian legend, focusing on the roles of women such as Guinevere, Morgane, and the Lady of the Lake. It also explores themes of magic and the supernatural. Number 5. Idylls of the King by Alfred Lord Tennyson. This cycle of poems explores the themes of chivalry, honor, love, and betrayal through the lens of Victorian Romanticism. These works offer a diverse range of interpretations of the Arthurian legend and are a great starting point for anyone interested in exploring the rich and complex body of literature. But are there any historical records that support the existence of King Arthur? If you have enjoyed the video so far, be sure to like it and let's continue the video. While King Arthur is a well-known figure in English literature, there is a little historical evidence to support his actual existence as a historical figure, unfortunately. The story of King Arthur were passed down orally for centuries before being recorded in writing, and there is no contemporary written record of King Arthur or his deeds. However, some historians believe that the legend of King Arthur may have been inspired by a real person or people. There are a few historical records that mention figures who could potentially be the basis for the King Arthur. For example, the 6th century Welsh monk Gildas wrote about a British leader named Aurelius Ambrosius who fought against the Saxons. And the 7th century Welsh poet Taliesin wrote about a warrior named Arthur who may have been fought in battles around the same times. Additionally, some historians believe that the legend of King Arthur may have been influenced by stories of Celtic heroes and gods. The tales of Arthur may have been shaped by fusion of different stories and legends from different sources, rather than being based on the single historical figure. Overall, while there is a little concrete historical evidence to support the existence of King Arthur, the legend of Arthur has had a significant impact on English literature and culture, and continues to capture the imagination of readers and scholars alike. Now, let's figure out what impact has the legend of King Arthur had on English culture beyond literature. Number 1. Art and architecture. King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table have been a popular subject for artists and architects throughout history. From medieval tapestries to Victorian stained glass windows, depiction of Arthurian characters can be found in many forms of art and architecture. Number 2. Place names. Many places in England are named after King Arthur and his knights, such as Tintagel Castle in Cornwall, which is said to be the birthplace of King Arthur. Number 3. Tourism. The popularity of Arthurian legend has led to an increase in tourism in places associated with the legend, such as Glastonbury Tor, where King Arthur is said to be buried. Number 4. Politics. The legend of King Arthur has been invoked in political discourse throughout history. For example, during the Second World War, Winston Churchill used the story of King Arthur as a symbol of British unity and strength. Number 5. National identity. The legend of King Arthur has been seen as a symbol of English national identity, particularly during time of political and social change. The image of King Arthur as a noble and just ruler has been used to promote ideas of fairness, justice, and democracy. Also, the legend of King Arthur has had a strong influence on modern English literature. Here are a few examples. Number 1. Fantasy fiction. The Arthurian legend has been a major influence on the fantasy fiction genre, inspiring writers such as J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, and George R.R. Martin. Number 2. Historical fiction. The Arthurian legend has also been an inspiration for historical fiction writers who have used the legend as a backdrop for their stories. Novels such as Bernard Cornwell's The Warlord Chronicles and Mary Stuart's Merlin trilogy are examples of historical fiction that incorporate the Arthurian legend. Number 3. Retellings and adoptions. The story of King Arthur has been retold and adopted countless times in modern English literature. From T.H. White's The Once and Future King to Merlin Zimmer Bradley, The Mists of Avalon, modern writers have put their own spin on the Arthurian legend, exploring different themes and interpretations. Number 4. Plays and musicals. The legend of King Arthur has also been adapted into plays and musicals, such as the Broadway hit Camelot and the West End musical Merlin. Now let's into modern adaptations of Arthurian legend in literature, film, television, and other media. The Once and the Future King by T.H. White. This classic novel, published in 1958, is a retelling of the Arthurian legend with a modern twist. It incorporates themes of pacifism and anti-war sentiment, and focuses on the character of King Arthur as a flawed but ultimately noble leader. Number 2. Excalibur. This 1981 film, directed by John Boorman, is a visually stunning adaptation of the Arthurian legend. It features a strong cast, including Nigel Turry as a King Arthur and Helen Mirren as a Morgana, and is notable for its use of Celtic mythology and imagery. Camelot. This 1960 musical, with music by Frederick Lowe and lyrics by Alan J. Lerner, tells the story of King Arthur, Guinevere, and Lancelot in a romantic and idealistic way. It was adapted into the film in 1967. Merlin, this 1998 television miniseries, reimagines the Arthurian legend from the perspective of the wizard Merlin. It incorporates elements of Celtic mythology and features a strong cast. Now, what are literary terms related to the Arthurian legend? Epic. The Arthurian legend is an epic tale, a long narrative poem that recounts the heroic deeds of a legendary or historical person or group. Romance. The Arthurian legend is also a romance, a genre of fiction that typically involves chivalry, courtly love, and adventure. The Arthurian legend revolves around a quest, a journey undertaken by a hero to achieve a specific goal, often involving the retrieval of valuable object or the accomplishment of a challenging task. Chivalry. Chivalry is a code of conduct associated with medieval knighthood, emphasizing honor, loyalty, courage, and courtesy, as the Knights of the Round Table are depicted as exemplars of this code. Tragedy. The Arthurian legend has elements of tragedy, as it portrays the downfall of King Arthur and disintegration of his kingdom. Allegory. The Arthurian legend can also be interpreted as an allegory, a narrative in which characters and events represent abstract concepts or moral qualities. For example, King Arthur can be seen as a symbol of justice and order, while his arch-nemesis Mordred represents chaos and treachery. Foreshadowing. A literary technique in which hints or clues are given about future events. For instance, the prophecies of Merlin about the downfall of King Arthur serve as a foreshadowing for the tragic events that follow. Symbolism. The Arthurian legend is rich in symbolism, with many characters, objects, and events representing deeper meanings. For example, the sword Excalibur is a symbol of King Arthur's divine right to rule, while the Holy Grail represents spiritual enlightenment. Archetypes. The Arthurian legend makes use of archetypes, universal symbols or characters that appear in myths, legends, and literature across cultures. For example, King Arthur can be seen as an archetype of the heroine king, while Merlin is an archetype of the wise old man. There have been many famous critics who have written about the Arthurian legends over the years, and their opinions have varied widely. The poet T.S Eliot was a great admirer of Arthurian legends and believed that they represented a kind of ideal Christian civilization. In his essay, The Idea of Christian Society, he wrote that the legend of the King Arthur represented a pattern of society which is Christian without ceasing to be secular. The writer C.S Lewis was also a fan of Arthurian legends and wrote a number of books on the subject. He believed that the stories had a deep spiritual resonance and that they could be read as allegories of the Christian faith. The literary critic Norton Ralph Frye wrote extensively on the Arthurian legends and saw them as exemplifying the archetype pattern of literature. He argued that the stories represented a kind of mystical geography of human cycle, and that they could be read as metaphors for the stage of human growth and development. The critic Harriet Bloom was more critical of the Arthurian legends and argued that they were essentially a kind of nostalgic fantasy, a way of looking back to a simpler and more innocent age. He saw them as representing a kind of wish fulfillment rather than a serious exploration of the human condition. Now let's talk about the secrets and the hidden truths of this tale. Number 1. The true identity of King Arthur. While there are many stories about King Arthur, historians have not been able to definitively identify him as a historical figure. Some scholars believe that they may have been a real person who lived in Britain during 5th or 6th century, while others think that he may have been a composite figure based on multiple historical figures. Number 2. The location of Avalon. In the legend of King Arthur, Avalon is a mystical island where Arthur is said to rest until the day when Britain needs him once again. The location of Avalon has long been a subject of speculation and debate, with some scholars suggesting that it may have been a real place, while others believe that it is a purely mythical location. Number 3. The fate of Guinevere. In many versions of the Arthurian legend, Guinevere, Arthur's queen, is unfaithful to him with his trusted knight, Sir Lancelot. However, the fate of Guinevere after Arthur's death is often left unresolved. Some stories say that she became a nun, while others suggest that she lived out her days in seclusion. Number 4. The true nature of Merlin. Merlin, the wizard who serves as Arthur's advisor, is a mysterious character who is shrouded in myth and legend. Some scholars believe that he may have been based on a historical figure, while others see him as a purely fictional character. What do you guys think about the Merlin? And that, my friends, is the story of the Arthurian legend. From its origin in medieval literature to its enduring legacy in modern culture, it continues to fascinate and inspire us. I hope that this video has given you a deeper appreciation for the Arthurian legend and its many interpretations. Whether you're a fan of classic tales or love to explore the latest adaptations, there is always something new to discover. As we come to the end of this video, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the Arthurian legend as much as I have enjoyed sharing it with you. If you have any question or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Until next time, keep exploring the world of literature, and remember, the stories we tell have the power to shape our world. Bye!